Have you ever wondered why patience is often considered a virtue, especially when it comes to understanding God's goodness? Let's delve into this paradox of patience, an intriguing concept that underpins our experience of life. Patience, in essence, is the ability to wait for something without frustration, to endure the trials and tribulations of life with a calm and composed spirit. It's not merely about waiting, it's about how we wait and how that waiting shapes us. Consider the story of a man who desired something with all his heart. Every day he would pray for this one thing, and every day he would wait. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. Yet his desired outcome seemed no closer. However, unbeknownst to him, the process of waiting was molding him, shaping him into a person of resilience, of strength. He learned to endure, to persist, and to keep his faith alive amidst the trials. And while he waited, he was unknowingly becoming a better version of himself, a version that could handle the very thing he desired with grace and wisdom. Now let's look at this from the perspective of God's goodness. Often we perceive God's goodness in the form of blessings, miracles, or answered prayers. But what if God's goodness is not always about giving us what we want when we want it? What if it's about more than that? God's goodness may be in the process, in the waiting, in the shaping and molding of our character. It's in the strength we gain, the resilience we develop, and the wisdom we acquire. It's in the person we become while we wait. So while the man was waiting, he was experiencing God's goodness, not in the form of an answered prayer, but in the transformation he was undergoing. He may not have seen it immediately, but as he looked back, he could see how the waiting had made him stronger, wiser, and more resilient. And so, through patience, this individual was able to witness the unfolding of God's goodness, even though it wasn't immediate. But how exactly does patience allow us to see God's goodness more clearly? Imagine life as a grand tapestry, woven with threads of varied hues, some vibrant, some dull, some seemingly out of place. Each thread represents different experiences, some joyful, some challenging, some utterly bewildering. At first glance, the tapestry may seem chaotic, even meaningless, yet each thread has a purpose and a place. And it's only when we step back and view the tapestry from a distance that we begin to perceive the grand design. Take, for instance, the story of an unnamed individual who faced a series of hardships. At first, they were disheartened, even disillusioned, as they struggled to understand why such trials were a part of their life. They questioned the goodness of God, unable to see past the immediate pain and confusion. But they chose to remain patient. They chose to trust that there was a reason behind the trials, a purpose that was hidden from their immediate view. And as time passed, they began to see how each challenge they faced was shaping them, refining them, and preparing them for greater things. The hardships were like the dull threads in the tapestry, seemingly out of place and without purpose. But when viewed in the context of the entire tapestry, they realized these very threads were vital in creating the overall design. They added depth, contrast, and a unique beauty that couldn't have been achieved with only the vibrant threads. The individual's patience allowed them to see beyond the immediate, to perceive the bigger picture. They began to see the intricate design of God's goodness in their life, where every experience, every thread had a purpose. They understood that what seemed like a random mishmash of experiences was, in fact, a beautifully orchestrated design. Thus, patience can indeed be seen as a window through which we witness the intricacies of God's goodness. It illuminates the understanding that what may seem like random threads of experiences are actually part of a grand design. So, what does this all mean for us? Let's take a moment to reflect on the significance of patience and its role in recognizing the goodness of God. It's crucial to understand that patience isn't just about the act of waiting. Rather, it's about maintaining faith, hope, and serenity during that period of waiting. Patience is an act of faith in itself, a quiet testament to our belief in divine timing. Moreover, God's goodness doesn't always manifest immediately or in the ways we expect. It often unfolds slowly, sometimes subtly, yet always profoundly. It's through this process that we come to understand the depth of God's love and the breadth of His generosity. In essence, patience and God's goodness are intertwined, each revealing the other. In the end, patience gives us the lens to see God's goodness, reminding us that no matter how long it takes, good things, divine things, come to those who wait,